Okay, so sometimes you want to give an object to every player in your scene, and currently the best way of doing that is with Cyan's Player Object Pool asset. Now this will be changed in the future with the new persistence update, where they'll be doing player data and player objects with it, presumably as far as I'm aware, but coming soon in VRChat terms can mean ages away. So let me show you how you can set up your player pool. For this you want to make sure that you have the asset installed. I'm using 1.1.2, but I don't think the method's changed with any of the versions, well there's only 2 shown here. Anyways, coming back into Unity, we just want to go Packages, Cyan's Player Object Pool, and we'll see 2 prefabs, as well as this README file. On this README file, it will show you the setup process, and we're just going to go through that. First of all, it asks us to drag and drop the 2 assets into our scene, so we're just going to grab our player assigner, and it's already added a player object pool in here for us. How convenient. Coming back to the README, the next step is in the player object pool prefab, set the pool size to be double your world capacity. I believe this is a legacy bit of text, as you used to only be able to set the soft cap for a world, and the hard cap would be double that, the soft cap being the limit of the amount of players that can be in a public instance. Either way, most people leave it at its default, so let's just come over to our player object pool, and it's currently a pool size set to 82, which is the maximum that you're able to have in an instance, which honestly would probably be fine, but let's say for efficiency reasons, let's reduce that down to 32, which is double the soft lock of 16. Okay, so let's come back to the README file. The third step is to create an Udon program that can be used for each of the pooled objects, which would implement the required items, which down below they tell you the exact things you need, which is a public variable named owner, a public event called _onOwnerSet, and a public event called onCleanup. I'm going to show you how to make this, but also I'll try to find where the example ones are and show you that too. But for this, I'll just go into my assets. I'm just going to go create VRChat Udon graph program asset, and I'm going to call this player pool script. I'm going to open up the Udon graph. Now what did they ask again? Come back to here, readme file. So we need a player API called capital O owner, and it needs to be public. Now we need 2 events. It says public events because in Udon Sharp you can make them non-public. So I'm just going to right click and go create node, the shortcut for the spacebar, and let's create a custom event, and it's going to be called onOwnerSet, as well as we need another one, and this one will be called onCleanup. Awesome, and that's all we need to do. Awesome, so now we should have our player API that is public, as well as our 2 public events, so that's all we need for that. Now they say they have some templates. See template, Udon graph, sign trickle thing. Perhaps editor? No. Runtime? No. Perhaps you need to look it up on the website. Either way, this is all you need for it. It should be nice and simple. Now we go into the README file. Well, it's the last thing we need. Step 4 is to create a game object with this Udon program on it, and drag and drop it into the pool object prefab field in the player object assigner prefab. This will automatically create enough instances of the pool object for the pool's current size. So I just want to come in here, I just want to create an empty game object. I'm going to call this empty game object my player pool, which is probably a bad name, but who cares. Then I'm going to go add component and create an Udon behavior component, and that will give me a place to put my new script that we just made in. And now I just want to grab this prefab and we can drag and drop it into our scene, and that will make it a prefab, which we can always drag and drop to get multiple of them. So now we can just delete all those because we've got it saved here. Then we're going to project assigner. It needs to know what our prefab object is, so we're just going to drag and drop that in there. And then we go respawn all pool objects, and we should see it's create 32 of our prefab object. Now there is one for every single player in the scene. So if I was to hit play, we can see that now that my player is in the scene, only one object is active, and it would have given the ownership to this one player. If I was to stop playtesters so we can actually see this, let me just create a public string variable. I'm going to call it owner name, make it public so we have to see inside the inspector, and then we're going to set it to be the owner's name. Whenever a new owner is set, we can see we've got an owner name field here. So now if I hit play, we'll see that we've got our one player in the scene, we've got the one object here, and we can see that it is the local player. However, we might want to have multiple objects that are a child of our player pool object. If I was to grab my player head follower script, we could create a cube to follow the player that could be different depending on the person. For example, if I just open up our prefab here, I can create a cube, and on this cube I'm going to get rid of its box collider because I don't need that. I'm going to go add component and create an Udon behavior component and drag and drop my player head follower script on it, which by the way is just this. However, something to note is just because we're the owner of the player pooled object doesn't mean that we're the owner of its children. So we can just come into our player pool script, and I'm going to create a game object array, set owner objects, make that public, drag and drop it, click on it and go Shift F click to create a for loop. And we want to use a networking set owner with the body, and the player we want to set the ownership to is the new owner of the object. Awesome. So now whenever the owner changes, it will call this onOwnerSet because that's part of Cyan Object Pool. And whenever that happens, it will set the name of it, which we don't really need, but we might as well leave there. And then it'll set all the objects inside this object array and make us the owner of those objects. By the way, if there's nothing in the object array, it won't crash, so you don't have to worry about that. So now it's still in our prefab. I'm going to click on my player pool, set objects, and I'm going to drag and drop our player follower cube, which I'm just going to call follow head cube. Awesome. So now that we've done all this in the prefab, the cool thing is it will have applied to all of these objects as well. That is the joy of prefabs and why you should use them for multiple duplicate objects. Awesome. So now if I just quickly playtest this. Awesome. So now the whole reason for this was that I wanted to show that with one player we see a cube over their head. That looks kind of funny. But if we were to play and test this with two players, and now with this, we should see that there is an object following both players' heads, which looks kind of funny on my bush avatar. Awesome. So anyways, hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you again next time.